for you. I want to talk to you about buses. And that song starts with riding the big green bus to work. And they loom large in your legends, the Paul buses, don't they?
Yeah. I never realized it, you know, but then I'd tell stories to Paul, or more recently to my eldest grandson. And he was doing an essay for his final thesis at university. And he wanted to look into the Cultural Revolution in Britain. So we sat down and I was talking to him, and he was about Liverpool. Yeah, so we started talking, and every story I told him, I met George on a bus. I first saw John on a bus. George auditioned on a bus. We went across town to find this guy who knew B7 on a bus.
Penny Lane.
Penny Lane was the bus depot. The bus depot. So yeah, there were millions of stories about bus. And then he very cleverly, I thought, looked up why the bus system was so good. And after the war, World War II, there had been the Transport Act. So he researched it and found, I can't remember, it was like Herbert Morrison, you know, did the Transport Act. So that gave us this great bus system. So in Liverpool, you could go anywhere. You could go, if I was visiting John, I could go from my place in Forthlin Road to Penny Lane, change, and go up to his place in Menlove Avenue. And, you know, school and all of this. There was this amazing system that I didn't realize we were kind of the first generation to benefit from that. And also there was an Education Act that meant that kids like me from not very well-off homes could go to very posh schools. And I think the idea that he puts forward in his essay is that this gave everyone over Britain this opportunity to be more mobile and more educated, and that was a big factor in the Cultural Revolution.
I want to come back to that. I know I sound obsessed with buses, but I had one more question about the buses first, which is being on the upper deck and the view, and how important that was, and the length of your commute to school, because it was half an hour. That all seemed quite relevant. And also, there's an interview you did on one of the kind of Pop Goes the Beatles type shows that was on the live at the BBC album, where you're asked about what you miss now that you're famous, and you're straight in with, like, riding on a bus. And it really mattered to you, losing that. Is it thinking time? Is it dreaming time? Is it the view?
Yeah, I just like buses.